So I'm looking at this recording, and I'm looking at myself looking at a potential third baseman, Brian Anderson, and just moving on, not picking him.
Bitch, are you dumb, 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 stupid?
What's good, YouTube? We are here with MLB 19, the show. We're in franchise mode. We're going to pick the Kansas City Royals. However, it is a fantasy draft. This is a team that we're going to take a long way from what they are right now and hopefully draft a good team. Now, this mode is going to be a little more interactive. So if you leave a funny comment, one of the generated players we're going to draft, because they don't have the rights to the minor leaguers. So one of the generated players we are going to draft, we will put your name on it and put your YouTube tag on it, and that player is going to share your name. So make sure to leave a funny comment, and I will pick one, and we will see which player I'll put you on. Most likely, almost every time, I have at least one or two generated players on the MLB bench. So you might see yourself in a video sometime soon. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we end up dropping down on the chart a little bit, the 22nd pick. Wasn't too crazy about that, but always, especially if you plan to sim most of your games, you have to have not just good starting pitching, excellent starting pitching. So usually my first two picks are starting pitchers. It's worked well for me. I recommend it. However, we look down the list. I'm thinking about Scherzer, but he's 34, and like how the game kind of wipes all the stats once they turn about like 33, and how they digress like that. Nola being an A potential and only 25 and already 92 overall, I had to go get him. The very next pick, who we got here? The very next pick in real life. If it's between Stephen Strasburg and Trevor Bauer, you know I'm going Stephen Strasburg. But they gave Trevor Bauer, after having an amazing season, they gave him a 90 overall. So I'm like, hey, he's 28 versus 30. I will take that any day. So we end up going to pick Trevor Bauer. Now the next pick, I was looking for a bat, this time a position player, and the best bat available was Josh Donaldson, 33 years old. I'll take it. Look at the stats. I will definitely be happy with this pick. Now, the next pick, I was looking at Anthony Rizzo. I was looking at him. I was like, his stats against lefties isn't that amazing. So I'm looking around. I find a center fielder, or right fielder. They switched him. Last year was the center fielder, but right fielder, Charlie Blackmon. I mean, look at those stats. You will not find someone close to that in, the third or fourth round or whenever this is. So I went out and I was looking at him, and I had to make this pick. 95 contact, 93 contact on respective sides, and then 78 power with 95 contact against righties. I had to make that pick, and that's what we did. So the next pick, I'm looking, and I'm seeing this pre-recorded now. So I'm looking at this recording, and I'm looking at myself looking at a potential third baseman, Brian Anderson, and just moving on, not picking him.
Bitch, are you dumb, 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 stupid?
Like, I was already concerned about, Josh Donaldson and Charlie Blackmon being a little older, my position players being a little older, and I find a perfect fit, and I just kept moving. So I don't know what I was doing there. So with my genius intellect, I ended up picking Jesus Aguilar instead. And so we're just going to move on from that one. So the next pick, we go right back to our starting rotation. We look at Keuchel because we don't have a lefty yet, but we end up picking Brad Peacock, 84 overall. Definitely fits what I'm trying to build here. So we go ahead and pick him. So with the next pick, I was kind of in a dilemma. I wanted Paul DeJong, as you can see right there. But George Springer was still available. So I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to pick George Springer and pray to God that Paul DeJong's still there when I come back. That was the plan, because Paul DeJong 25 and B potential, and he was still there when I came back. So it worked out perfectly. So we were able to get both of them. So this round, I wanted to get a reliever. We have no one in the bullpen so far, so I look no further than Carl Edwards Jr. He will be in the bullpen for a while, only 27 years old, so we went ahead and got that pick. Pitching is important, so we went right back to the bullpen and we got Zach Britton. Hopefully, he'll play more than he did in the 2016 wildcard game. So we went ahead and made that pick. So the next pick, I'm just scrolling. Really don't know what I'm looking for. And I find D. Gordon is still available, the cheat code. Now they nerfed his speed, but last year he was an automatic hit. I had him on my fantasy draft franchise last year too, and he was unreal. Hit almost every at bat, 2-hit games almost every game, so we had to go and get him. So now I'm looking for a number 4 guy in the rotation. I needed a lefty because I didn't have one. I already had 3 pitchers and no lefties. So Dallas Keuchel was perfect, and he was the best pitcher available as well. So it worked out. Next, we had Michael Brantley. This was an easy decision for left fielders. Look at the contact on righties. Look at the contact on lefties. And he can field his position average. So easy pick. So the next pick, we're going back to the bullpen. Richard Rodriguez, a good righty, easy pick as well. When I'm looking at the team that I have already, we're kind of lacking speed and kind of lacking arm strength. Little average at fielding. So we got Juan Lagares to really kind of emphasize that part of the game because he has all those things that I just mentioned. So he'll bat 9th for us. Good solid pick. We don't need any more hitting, so I'm not too worried about his bat. Adam Libator will go in the bullpen as another lefty along with Zach Britton, so that was the next pick. Needed a lefty. Now, I was super surprised about this one. Francisco Cervelli still being available. Look at those stats. Probably one of the better hitting catchers in this game, period. And he's still available. So maybe he's not the best fielding catcher in the world, but when he's still available, I think you gotta get him. All right, so my last pick I'll show is Ryu. He will round out my rotation, my number 5 guy. He's also a lefty, so I have 2 lefties in the rotation. So for the rest of the draft, I was rounding out my bench, I was rounding out my bullpen, and I was fishing for prospects of B potential or higher. And yeah, so we will get into the lineups right after this. So your starting lineup for the 2019 Kansas City Royals: D. Gordon leading off, Josh Donaldson. Then we got Charlie Blackmon. After that, the cleanup hitter, Jesus Aguilar. Then number 5 is the shortstop, Paul DeJong. Then in the left fielder, Michael Brantley. Then we got George Springer in right field. Francisco Cervelli, our starting catcher, will be 8th. And Juan Lagares at the 9 spot. So onto our bench. I wanted my bench to be, make up for the fielding and the speed the starting lineup lacks. So we got Manny Pena as our backup catcher. He's a better fielder and, he can hit a little bit. Josh Harrison coming off the bench. That's pretty good when you got Josh Harrison coming off the bench. And Lori Garcia, he'll be our 4th outfielder. And then David Escalona, and he will be a backup infielder. Now, I don't know if I've never heard of David Escalona, but he's one of the players. He may be real, he may be not, but he's one of the players I'm willing to make a customization to. So leave a funny comment and let me know that you want to be that player, your name onto that player. Just let me know and I can get you in maybe the next episode. So we'll see. So we're going to move on to the bullpen now and see what our starting rotation also looks like. Okay, so Nola is going to be our ace. Obviously, Bauer at 2, Dallas Keuchel at 3, our first lefty. Brad Peacock will be our 4th guy at 84 overall. And then we have Ryu at the 5 and our second lefty. So our rotation, I want to look around the league, but I think we have the best one. So Clay Buchholz will be our long guy. And then Richard Rodriguez will be another mid guy, righty. Adam Libator, our lefty, mid guy. Kevin Quackenbush will be, I will not laugh when I say that name, but Kevin Quackenbush, he'll be another reliever. Zach Britton, He will be another mid guy, but I may switch him if Edwards can't get the job done at closer. And then our setup guy will be Matt Barnes over there. Changed him from closer to reliever, so he'll just do the setup duties. And then finally, we got Carl Edwards Jr. as our closer, our first pick in terms of relievers. So that's how the bullpen will work. Again, we might switch Britton for Edwards, but we'll see how the season goes. And in the very next episode, we will see how the season goes for sure, because that will be our first gameplay. I can't wait to see this team. I got high expectations. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys liked the draft. Was there someone I missed other than Anderson? What aspect am I missing from the team? What does this team need to get to the next level? And let me know in the comments. Do you want to be David Escalona's new alias, basically? And I'll customize them in a different way too. So we will see. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. This is gonna be a fun series, so stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.